In a ruthless galaxy where sentient beings are auctioned as chattel, a human's unexpected bid for freedom, not ownership, sparks a revolution in the heart of a blue-skinned alien woman and ignites a dangerous clash of ideals. Characters of this story: Elwyre, 20s, striking blue skin, two elegant horns. Ether born from Astrea Prime. Possesses an aesthetic and powerful physique. Initially resigned to her fate, she reawakens with fierce determination. Ki, 30s, human. Worn utility suit, calm and observant. Resourceful, principled, and capable of decisive action. His quiet strength masks a deep conviction. Xylos, the alien auctioneer. Vio initially then seen, corpulent, multi-limbed. Slick, avaricious, and easily flustered. Commander KRYL, Thar, large, reptilian, scarred. Brutal, arrogant, and accustomed to getting his way. Thar guards, two burly, heavily armed reptilians. Alien crowd, a diverse, bustling mix of galactic species, ranging from the genuinely horrified to the casually cruel. EXT, Zyklon Market Orbital Station Day. Sound of distant, heavy thrusters, a faint, ethereal space hum. The Zyklon Market Orbital Station hangs like a glittering, chaotic jewel against the inky blackness of space. Thousands of ships, from sleek luxury cruisers to battered freighters, dock and undock from its massive ports. Energy conduits glow like veins across its hull. INT, the Ian Market Auction Hall Day. Sound of a rich, resonant chord, followed by the metallic clink of a gavel. Then a low, murmuring hum of diverse alien chatter, punctuated by clicks, whistles, and the occasional roar. The Ian Market Auction Hall is a spectacle of galactic commerce. Gold and chrome gleam under pulsating lights. The air, though filtered, carries the faint, mingled scents of exotic spices, ozone, and something vaguely metallic. Tiered platforms rise, packed with an array of alien species. The multifaceted eyes of the Zillerans, the hulking forms of the KRL, the shimmering cloaks of the Silcari. Most lean forward, their attention fixed on the central stage. On the circular, elevated platform, Elwyre stands. Her skin, a breathtaking shade of celestial blue, seems to absorb and reflect the light. Two slender, iridescent horns, the mark of her ether-born lineage, spiral elegantly from her temples. Her body, perfectly proportioned and honed, is a testament to the zero-G artistry of her homeworld, Astrea Prime. It is a body designed for grace, for strength, for life, yet now it is merely an item on display. Heavy, glowing energy cuffs shackle her wrists and ankles, chaining her to a central pedestal. Her sapphire eyes, once bright with the spirit of the Void Dancer, are now dulled by an unbearable resignation. She is Lot 734. Xylos Vio, voice smooth, rich, modulated through the universal translator. And now, esteemed clientele, for our premiere lot of the day. From the fabled, now fallen Astrea Prime, we present a true rarity, a genuine etherborn, untamed, unblemished, and possessing an aesthetic form that will be the envy of any collection. Her genetic markers speak of unparalleled resilience and adaptability. Truly a jewel of the void. Bidding for Lot 734 begins at 25,000 credits. A frenzy of bidding lights up various terminals across the hall. The holographic price display above Lyra spins wildly upwards. Xylos Vio. 30. 45. The KRYL collective shows their intent early. 50,000 from the Glorgan Consortium. Do I hear 60? Yes. 65. Going once, going twice at 65. Lyra's gaze drifts, unfocused. Memories flash, the shimmering cities suspended between suns, the ancient songs of her people, the taste of nebulae dew. Then the terror, the sudden brutal raid, the plasma fire, the crushing defeat as Astrea Prime fell to the infamous Void Raiders. Her family, her identity, her very being, all shattered, all lost. Now only this, a body for sale. Xylos Vio. 100,000 credits from the KRYL collective. A truly commanding bid. Commander KRL is certainly making his intentions clear. A low, guttural growl of satisfaction echoes from a VIP box. Commander KRYL, a massive, scaly Thar, adjusts his ornate collar, his reptilian eyes fixed on Lyra with possessive malice. He is scarred, brutal, and accustomed to absolute authority. His presence silences many of the lesser bidders. Xylos Vio. 100,000 going once, going twice. Sold. To the esteemed Commander KRYL of the KRYL collective. Sound of a booming gavel slam. Two hulking Thar guards, armed with heavy-duty disruptor rifles, begin to lumber towards the stage. Their metallic boots thud ominously. Lyra closes her eyes, a single, crystalline tear tracing a path down her blue cheek. The end. Kai OS. 1,000,000 credits. Sound of the gavel's echo, then absolute silence. The drone of the hall dies. Every head in the Ian Market auction hall pivots. The suddenness, the sheer audacity of the bid, stuns them all. Standing at the back entrance, a silhouette against the vibrant, alien market beyond, is Kai. A human. He wears a plain, functional utility suit, its fabric worn but meticulously maintained. There are no flashy insignias, no gaudy jewelry. Just a quiet man, whose presence somehow commands attention. His eyes, though, are piercing, sharp, intelligent, and radiating an unsettling calm. Xylos, the multi-limbed auctioneer, practically chokes on his next breath. He stares, his numerous eyes blinking rapidly. Xylos. 1,000,000? But the lot is sold. And a human? You don't even participate in property auctions. Kai takes a slow, deliberate step forward, his voice clear and resonant, cutting through the stunned silence. Ki. The bid stands. 1,000,000 credits. He raises a standard galactic credit chip, its value shimmering. And you are correct, Xylos. I am not participating in a property auction. A wave of confused murmurs sweeps through the alien crowd. Commander KRYLL, who had already begun to rise from his seat, now freezes, his scales bristling. KRYLL. Voice a low, dangerous growl. Human, what farce is this? You insult the KRYLL collective. You insult the very order of the market. She is acquired. She is mine. Kai's gaze, unwavering, shifts from Xylos to KRYLL, then finally to Lyra. A small, almost imperceptible curve touches his lips, not a smile of amusement, but of grim satisfaction. Ki. That's where you're mistaken, Commander. That's where all of you are mistaken. My species does not believe in owning sentient life. And I am not buying her. He gestures with the credit chip towards Lyra, then back to the stunned auctioneer. Ki. I am buying her freedom. Final bid. 1,000,000. Now release her. The silence that follows is profound. The concept, the sheer insolence of it, is so alien to the established galactic order that it almost doesn't compute. Then, the hall explodes in outrage. Xylos. Preposterous. Unacceptable. This is an insult to galactic commerce. A human cannot simply redefine the rules of acquisition. KRYLL. Roaring, rising fully, his blaster now in his hand. This is an act of war, human. You interfere with KRYLL property. Guards. Seize the Etherborn. Obliterate the human. The two Thar guards on the stage level their disruptor rifles at Kai, their reptilian faces contorted in fury. Kai ignores them. His eyes are still on Lyra, and there's a flicker there she recognizes, not pity, not dominance, but something akin to shared conviction. He holds her gaze, a silent question passing between them. He subtly activates a small device in his palm. A faint, almost imperceptible pulse of energy emanates from it, a precise, targeted burst. On the stage, with a series of soft, resonant CLINKS, the energy cuffs on Lyra's wrists and ankles suddenly fizzle and then release. They fall to the platform with a dull thud. Lyra blinks, staring at her now free hands, then down at her unbound ankles. The despair that had held her captive for so long cracks, replaced by a spark of disbelief, then a sudden, exhilarating surge of pure, unadulterated adrenaline. KRYLL. Fool! You think a child's toy will stop the Thar? KRYLL bellows, gesturing wildly. The Thar guards fire. Plasma bolts sizzle towards Kai. But they are too slow. Lyra, for the first time in what feels like an eternity, is truly free to move. And move she does. Years of specialized, high-gravity etherborn training surge through her muscles. She is a blur of motion, a dance of deadly grace. Her aesthetic body, once a source of admiration, becomes a weapon of terrifying precision. With a primal scream that echoes through the hall, she launches herself into action. She dodges the first guard's clumsy swing, her hand lashing out to disable his rifle with a precise, bone-jarring strike to its power cell. The guard howls as his weapon sparks uselessly. Before the second guard can react, Lyra is already behind him, using her elbow to strike a nerve cluster at the base of his neck. He crumples, unconscious, his heavy rifle clattering. The hall descends into pandemonium. Aliens shriek, some scrambling for cover, others mesmerized by the sudden, brutal display of an aesthetic specimen turned warrior. Kai, still at the back, watches with a calm, almost satisfied expression. He hasn't moved an inch, merely observed. This was exactly what he'd intended. His species might not sell sentient life, but they certainly knew how to unleash it. Lyra spins, her blue eyes now blazing with a fierce, primal fire. She faces KRYLL, who now stands fully exposed, his face contorted in a mixture of rage and shock. Elwyre. Her voice, though soft, cuts through the chaos, clear and resonant in the comm system. You wish to acquire property, Thar? You have only acquired a fight. KRYLL snarls, pulling a large, vicious-looking blaster from his holster. But Lyra is faster. She leaps, a flash of blue, and with a series of impossibly quick, acrobatic maneuvers, disarms him. She then delivers a precise, powerful kick to his knee, dropping the massive reptilian to the ground with a thunderous impact. KRYLL groans in pain, clutching his joint. Lyra grabs the heavy disruptor rifle from the downed guard. She aims it not at KRYLL, but at the enormous, ornate central support column of the auction hall. Elwyre. Run, all of you, unless you wish to be buried under your own avarice. She fires. The disruptor beam tears through the column's base, sending up a shower of sparks and structural groans. A loud creaking sound begins. Sound of structural groaning, then a shouting and a general stampede. Panic truly erupts. Aliens stampede towards the exits, fearing for their lives as cracks spiderweb across the ceiling. Xylos, the auctioneer, is flailing, trying to escape his podium. Lyra turns, her eyes locking onto Kai. She doesn't understand him fully, but she understands the opportunity he's given her. She gives a sharp, determined nod, a silent acknowledgement of their unexpected alliance. Kai simply gestures towards a less-used service exit, a subtle inclination of his head. He starts moving, not running, but with a ground-eating stride, weaving through the panicked crowd. Lyra, keeping a cautious distance but staying close, follows. EXT, Zyklon Market alleyways, day continuous. Sound of distant alarm sirens, faint shouts, the hum of market life. Lyra and Kai emerge from the collapsing chaos of the auction hall into the grimy, bustling alleyways of the Zyklon Market. It's a labyrinth of steaming food stalls, questionable merchandise vendors, and flickering holographic advertisements. The air is thick with exotic smells, the chatter of 1,000 languages, and the constant hum of alien technologies. They move quickly, Lyra still clutching the disruptor rifle, her senses on high alert, horns twitching as she scans her surroundings. Kai navigates with an unnerving familiarity, his eyes constantly scanning, assessing threats. Elwyre. Whispering, sharp, as they dart past a vendor selling glowing, segmented fruit. Who are you, human? Why did you do this? My people taught me that kindness always has a price. Kai glances back at her, not breaking stride, leading her through a crowded section filled with giant, insectoid merchants. Ki. My name is Kai, and I did this because it's what my species does. We don't stand by when we see sentient beings treated as chattel. He pushes open a heavy, grimy blast door. And sometimes, Lyra, the currency isn't credits. Sometimes, it's just the belief in something better. Elwyre. Belief? That is inefficient. The Thar will have every bounty hunter in the sector after us. Commander KRYLL will want my head on a pike. Ki. Yes. That's usually how freedom works. It's rarely convenient. It demands a fight. But you're not alone now. We have a head start, and my ship isn't far. They dart into a narrow passage, Kai pushing open a concealed access panel on a grimy, forgotten wall. He gestures for her to enter first. Int. Hidden storage compartment, day continuous. Sound of faint hums, muffled city noise, the distant whir of a patrol drone. They squeeze into a small, dark, utilitarian compartment, just big enough for them to stand comfortably. Kai seals the panel behind them. The air is recycled, smelling faintly of ozone and old machine oil. Lyra keeps the disruptor rifle aimed at the entrance, her blue skin shimmering in the dim emergency lighting. She turns to Kai, her expression a complex mix of awe, suspicion, and a dawning understanding. Elwyre. Belief for my life. This concept is foreign to Astria Prime. We understood trade, tribute, conquest. Not this. She gestures around the cramped space. What is your gain, human? Power? Influence? A contract for future services? Kai leans against the opposite wall, crossing his arms, his expression serious but not unkind. Ki. My gain, Lyra, is the knowledge that another sentient being isn't owned. My influence comes from actions, not from contracts. And my currency. He looks at her, a genuine, deep-seated conviction in his eyes. My currency is the idea that everyone deserves to choose their own path. That's why humans fight so hard for it, even for strangers. He gestures vaguely around the tiny compartment. Ki. This is a short-term hideout. We have maybe 10 minutes before they track our energy signatures or bypass market surveillance. First, weapons check. You clearly know your way around that rifle. Then we talk plan. A real plan, not just an escape. Lyra looks at him, truly seeing him for the first time. Not just a rescuer, not an owner, but an unexpected ally whose very existence challenges her universe's cruelest truths. A species that defied all her galaxy's understanding of power and profit. A human. She lowers the disruptor rifle slightly, her horns twitching with thought, her mind racing with the possibilities his words opened. The despair is gone, replaced by a burning ember of hope, fanned by the human's quiet defiance. Elwire. A plan, for something more than just survival? Kai meets her gaze, a deep, unwavering resolve in his eyes. Ki. Exactly. A plan to keep you free. And perhaps a plan to make sure no other Astrian, or any other sentient being, ever suffers your fate again. What do you say, Lyra? Ready to trade your old life for a new kind of currency? Lyra considers his words, the sheer audacity of them. The warmth of freedom, the burning need for vengeance, and the strange, compelling idea of this human's currency combine within her. She flexes her hands, her unbound hands, a spark reigniting in her sapphire eyes. Elwire. I say, show me, Kai. Show me how humanity truly buys freedom. A faint, almost imperceptible smile touches Kai's lips. He pulls a small, encrypted datapad from an inner pocket. The journey, he knew, had only just begun. It wouldn't be easy, but freedom rarely was. And for a human, that made it all the more worthwhile.